that was the most perfect segue in the history of segues, because I was just going to ask you, what is your plan to proceed with Russian? I have a general idea of what your level is. I liked in your video, by the way, whenever you needed to say a word that you didn't know, you're just like Russian, 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 English, Russian, 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 English. I'm like, damn, that's actually a good idea. Just completely forget about it and just say the word in English and continue. I thought that was that was quite slick.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
what are your plans? Where do you want to take your Russian? What are your plans on how to achieve what you want?
So, I'm really in the former Soviet republics and stuff. They really intrigue me.
Me
Um,
too. This is one of my most like one of my most motivational things. Like I just think it's
oh,
so
cool.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, because of that, I'd really like to check some of these countries out. Like specifically at the moment, I'd really like to check out Belarus and Ukraine.
Of course.
They both seem like pretty interesting countries, and I'd really like to understand the history and just how the people think, but through Russian. And I also
Absolutely.
do want to learn Ukrainian eventually. It's very high on my list, but I'm going to have to wait until I get to a higher level of Russian because that's just not going to happen right now. But
You want to dip into
yeah,
the Slavic languages.
exactly. Yeah, I do plan to branch into the other ones too. But yeah. So for Russian, I'd like to see Ukraine and Belarus, and I would really like to check out Russia too. It just seems like it's kind of complicated to get in. Like you have to get a visa, and
Right.
the whole process is pretty complicated. So I would like to check out Russia too because there's so much history, and then there's obviously the smaller republics within Russia that I'd also like to check out. I just want to just the mindset and just everything about it. Just I don't know. I just feel like Russian would be a good doorway into this part of the world because I also think that from what I've seen, the level of English is kind of lower is lower over there than like Sweden and Denmark, for
Of
example.
course.
And I know a lot of people dread that when they know that English isn't spoken in a certain place, they dread it. But I'm happy. I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. Let's do this. So yeah, that's the goal with Russian. So as soon as the pandemic blows over, fingers crossed. I really hope that happens soon, and life starts to go back to normal or whatever the new normal will be. I'd really like to check out like the former Soviet republics and just
Right.
kind of like, have you heard of a guy named Bald and
I
Bankrupt?
was just going to say, I was just going to say, if you're interested in that, this guy is, his channel. That's what you got to check out. I would
Yeah,
describe it as my favorite YouTube channel. It's awesome.
honestly, I can agree. I can agree. Like because especially because he goes off the beaten path. Like people go to Russia, St. Petersburg, Moscow, the
Awesome.
big cities. That's it. But I love how he goes to those small towns and interacts with the locals in the small towns. Don't speak English, and like he hears their stories. Like he'll talk to babushkas and like all that stuff. It just fascinates me, and he honestly really inspires me to want to go and do something similar.
Me too.